Welcome back to Anime Casuals. I'm Lucky.
Here I go! This hand of mine is burning red!
And I'm Michael. Realize the only ones who should kill are those who are prepared to be killed.
Johnny.
Your darkness swallowed up my son? Who decided that?
Erupting! Burning!
Now all of you.
Die.
Well, we'll start in 3, 1, go!
Hey, what's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Anime Casuals. I am Lucky.
I am Michael.
I'm a Johnny.
And we make up Anime Casuals. As you guys know, we are celebrating Pride Month, and we decided to go a little bit different than last week, where it was more of a direct response to Pride Month. We decided to take it a little bit more literally and go with the most prideful characters in anime, because why the heck not? As I hit puberty again. Anyway, I guess I'll go ahead and start, since I was the one who suggested this one, and I was trying to figure out who to start this off with. Michael, we had a phone call yesterday, and he called me out on the most obvious one, so I'm not gonna say that one anymore because he made me feel self-conscious. Plus, I feel like
4 really obvious ones, right?
yeah. So I decided to kind of go with one that that actually I didn't think about until yesterday, and I was like, oh, I got to take this pick before anybody else does. So I believe the way you say his name is Yumichika, and he is one of the, not a vice captain, like I don't remember how they do it in Bleach, but like one of the second vice captains of Kenpachi's squad, who is always rocking the beautiful look. And the only reason why I say he's so prideful, and this is a little bit of a spoiler for like the Espada arc and everything, is because whatever. We're about to get to the 100-Year War anyway, so it doesn't matter. One of the things that we always know Yumichika's for is basically his Shikai, which is just like this peacock-looking blade thing that he has. And I didn't actually know this until I read up on it, but apparently his squad is primarily focused in sword-based fighting styles, right? Whereas everybody else does their crazy, we got the Senbon Zakura and all that other crazy shit. Like Kenpachi's squad is like, we're gonna take our swords and we're gonna fucking kill you. And
Keep
respect.
swinging.
Yeah, respect. But since Yumichika is part of this squad, he also does that as well, until he's put his back into a corner, and we realize that he has been saying his Shikai's name wrong the entire time, which his Shikai then gets angry and doesn't transform into its actual form, which is a crazy life-sucking, I don't know what you want to call it, like vine thing.
Yeah.
And is finally shown only when, not when he's going to die, but only when, nobody's looking, which is the whole premise of this whole, this character, right? Yeah. He will not even show how OP this ability is. He'll only show it when nobody's looking, and he's like, oh, nobody's looking? Oh, cool. I thought I was just going to die. Cool. Let's do it.
Are almost dead.
And now, because you're going to die, doesn't matter. Like, if you're going to die, then I can show it.
Yeah, makes sense. So I just thought he was a perfect idea of pride, and I was like, that's just one of the most ridiculous examples of it I've ever seen. So Yumichika from Bleach. Also looking forward to Bleach coming out whenever the hell it's supposed to come out. So
okay, well, I hope I didn't take any of yours by starting with Seto Kaiba.
Good one. I actually didn't have that.
Yes, I like to throw Yu-Gi-Oh back in there and be like, remember, it's an anime. Seto Kaiba is by far like one of the most prideful characters out there. Although to be fair, over time, he doesn't get more or less prideful, but he learns to be more accepting of everybody else helping him out. So like, so much so in like the first 3 seasons, he was like, no, I can do it because I have money, or I can do it by myself because I'm the smartest man in the world. I mean, literally, yes. I mean, Yugi might be the best player of games, but he cannot make a holographic like display like Seto Kaiba can. But like the entirety of the time, he's always there. He's always saying, no, I can do this by myself. I've got everything. And to be fair, a lot of times he can do a lot of it by himself, but it's the evolution of his character finally going, oh, I love my brother. My brother can also be useful. I will not say it, but I do care that Yugi's in my life and these other people are in my life because they also help me keep going and keep battling and getting stronger, while using his pride not as a weakness, which was like in literally the first duel he's in, but also as a source of motivation to keep himself going as a source of his strength. So I love Seto Kaiba, and he's such a meme-worthy character, which makes him excellent.
Nice.
Absolutely.
So my first pick is going to be Cell from Dragon Ball Z. I always
Nice
thought he was
pick.
extremely prideful.
That's
I
big
thought,
pride.
out of all the powers and abilities and traits of all the people in this series that he picked up, I feel like Pride was one of the biggest ones he absorbed and took in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he is so confident in his final form. I mean, he gives the world a full 7 days. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you can also be like, it's just 1 week. What are you going to do? Apparently, it's enough. I mean, especially when you have a hyperbolic time chamber where you just disappear for a full year in 1 day. I mean, that's great too. So, I always thought Cell was crazy, and he is so prideful. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Cell.
Dude, those are some good picks. Man, those are the glory days when we had like a lot of prideful villains. Now it seems like all
Yeah.
our villains are freaking depressed and they're just like, oh my god, I'm so traumatized.
They have an actual variety of emotions. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
oh my god. So this next one is from one of my favorite manga / anime, Berserk. It has to go to Griffith. This guy has to be one of the like, I mean, to a fault, prideful characters. Like one of the first things that happens is Guts gets beaten by Griffith, and that's why he joins the Band of the Hawk. And Griffith is like, oh no, I am the leader, and I own you. Therefore, you can never leave. And then once Guts beats him, he basically loses his entire shit. He's like, well, you're leaving and you beat me. I'm not the best person. Then he goes fucking absolutely crazy. Decides to fuck a princess, which in medieval times is a big no-no when you're not royal. Gets his tongue cut out after being tortured, and then after that ends up damning his whole squad to demons in order to gain power of a god. Because that was his destiny. That was basically the whole thing. He could have lived his life out way differently, and he was like, no, this is not how my life should go. My life is supposed to be, I am at the top of everyone. And if I'm not, then what's the point of living? And he just gives up everything in order to, and just wrecks his entire crew, the Band of the Hawk that was with him, and then proceeds to go into one of the most disturbing scenes you can ever see in anime, but probably one of the most important as well. So yeah, Griffith, fuck you, man. Fuck
Definitely top energy. Definitely top energy. My next one, I was looking around like trying to get ideas for prideful characters. So I had like 7 off the top of my head, and I was like, no,
Yeah.
I need a few more just to have way too long of a list. And I have forgotten because I think I've watched a lot more of Haikyuu than you guys.
Mhm.
Because you guys stopped after the third season. But you guys also know this character. Besides our main character's rival, we also have another really prideful character whose name is Toru Aikawa. He's the guy from Abo Josai. I think he's always like wearing light blue jersey. And is literally the rival to dang, I don't remember his name, but like Emo Sasuke on our main day.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. And like he's the other rival center that's on the other side, and the guy he's trying to work up to because they used to be on the same team together. So that guy is always either completely off because he's like, people are looking at me and cheering my name, like I'm so like I've got such a self-interest problem. And then when people start chanting his name, they're like, oh Kaiwa, oh Kaiwa. He's like, the people do love me. Are the girls watching me? Oh, the girls are watching me. Now I can play really strong. And it's like, oh my goodness. We've seen Pride in like evil acts, and now we see Pride in a way that just fuels a character, just going, well, if everybody's looking at me, then I can play the best because I am the best. And I will destroy everybody at volleyball, no matter who it is. And I gotta admit, sometimes prideful people like really upset me while watching them. He was really funny every time. Like just going like how how much he's like what a narcissist he is to be like to gain powers from everybody giving him compliments and cheering him on. It's so funny.
Wow. That is fair. He definitely fits that.
Yeah.
My next one is going to be Satsuki Kiryuin from I'm going to mix it up for some reason.
Jujutsu Kaisen?
No.
No, Kill la Kill.
Yeah,
Kill la Kill.
I,
Okay.
I was like, it's not a kame. Don't say
Dude,
a kame.
yep, don't do
I
it.
almost did. So yeah, from Kill la Kill.
A comic.
I always thought she was very prideful. I mean, in her school, she literally has this giant tower that just goes up, and she's up there. Everyone has to look up at her, and she's just down. Like, no, you look at my nose. That's it. You see nothing else.
Yeah.
And I mean, even everybody at the school is totally. I was going to say they're totally fine with it, but more they don't have a choice, I guess.
Yeah.
Because, it's complete tyranny there. And she even goes as far as, like, I don't like these other schools out here. We're going to go take them out. Get rid of them. And she does. She just goes over there and takes them out with their crazy, superpowered clothes. It sounds like a bad, like, summary of a show. Like, are you going to watch it now? No. Yeah, I just... She's just always been a good example of pride, I felt like. So... Yeah, Satsuki.
Nice, dude. And speaking of someone who makes other people look up at her, Boa Hancock, I have to say, from One Piece, is just one of those. It's just one of those characters that is prideful and yet at the same time very like. She has like that downfall of the fact that she's like deathly in love with Luffy to the point where she almost dies when she learns that he's leaving the island. But yeah, and also that stance is iconic. Her just like, just fucking, just looking down on you so much that she's not even looking at you. She's not even like, that's how little she thinks of, especially men. I mean, I feel like that's half the girls I meet nowadays, but it's just like, it was just so funny to watch this over exaggeration. But at the same time, she's really fucking strong too. Like she's one of the, during the Marineford arc, like she bodies people who were bodying other people, and you're like, how is she fucking doing this? Like, what is going on here? Luffy, if you just marry her for protection, I think that's fine. You know what I mean? Just have a permanent bodyguard. Have a fucking permanent bodyguard that just turns people to stone. And yeah, like I said, I think she's a good example of. And also, I think her backstory tells a lot of why she has to be that way, as well. So she's like prideful for a reason as well. But yeah, Boa Hancock is just one of those characters that, with that pose and everything, it's just so fucking iconic that we couldn't do this. Like one of us was gonna say it at some point.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, absolutely.
Too.
I was literally, while he was describing Kill la Kill, I was like, oh, there's another person who looks down on people. Now, here's another person who looks down on people, but in a different way. And we've been doing our darndest to be like choosing more lighthearted people, but now we're going to choose a very emotionally dark character. We're going to go with the Light Yagami. If not one of the most prideful, narcissistic characters that's out there, because every second of Death Note, he can do no wrong. And he never thinks he's in the wrong. He never thinks that he's going to get caught. And even the times where you think he's going to get caught, he's like, oh, no, I've thought 20 moves ahead about over this. And, like, that all leads into the plan. And I'm like, constantly, he is using and abusing. It's, like, not just pride. It's, like, it's beyond that. To be like, you think the god could ever make a mistake? Like, it's literally in his name. He is the light that makes the shadows upon the ground. He will be the one who's killing everybody and controlling the world. And that's, while I like Death Note, that was such an error, like such a problem with that character. Just going like, he's always like halfway in his own ass, like about talking about himself and just existing. That it's just like so annoying. The anime is good though. And and then he gets a girl like Misa to like him because he's already up his own ass, and then she's up his ass. He's just trying to get the whole world up there, and that's Light. I'm sorry, your butt's not that big, so let's move on.
Ooh, damn snap! Oh shit, got him.
My next one is really mostly for one scene in particular. admittedly, I might say it wrong. It's either Sekuna or Setsuna from Jujutsu Kaisen. Um, and it's the scene
Oh,
where he's fighting. I don't remember. I don't remember like any names. He's fighting the guy with the white hair
the Stitches.
at the Stitches guy,
Mm.
and he somehow gets into our main character guy, and he meets with Sekuna, and he's like, "What are you doing here? I didn't allow this." And they have this conversation. He's like, "Hey, don't ever come back here again." So then he gets kicked out, and then he does it again, and then I don't remember exactly what happens. I just remember he got like pretty pissed. Was like, "No, you're done." And he just messed him up in some way. So I always thought that scene was really cool. So yeah, second.
Nice.
I wish we have seen more of that character to see more of his pride.
Mm-hmm.
But next season.
Next season for sure, yeah, and it is Sakuna. But yeah, that was definitely one of those scenes where it's like when it kind of reminds me of there's a Boruto scene where this one guy with a Sharingan looks inside of Naruto, and Kurama just gets fucking pissed at him and scares the living shit out of him. And I was like, oh, dude, I fucking love that. For my next one, so this one, I absolutely love this character. He's one of the best characters ever in, like, one of the most iconic characters in anime. Gilgamesh from the Fate series. Now, granted, I haven't seen was it Babylon or whatever. I think he makes an appearance in that.
Still pretty
Um,
prideful.
yeah, so I was gonna say they're probably not gonna change him all that much in terms of characteristics. But when you have one of the most like broken abilities, well, so much so that he only gets beaten by another broken ability. Um, I mean, when you have the gates of Babylon on your side, where you just have all these basically what do they call it? Noble Phantasm level weapons just coming out at your, like, you just throw them out there, dude. He doesn't even pick them up afterwards. He just like just throw them all out there, like they're daggers, dude, and barely even like lifts a finger half the time. The only people who have ever like really stood up to him are like the like Berserker from the very first season, who literally touches anything and it becomes his Noble Phantasm. You know, I don't want to spoil another one, but then Saber is the other one, who's obviously pretty OP in her own right. But Gilgamesh always calls everybody like, "You filthy cur," and at one point, dude, I think he basically says like to Saber like, "Hey, you want to be one of my women?" Like, just straight up to the fucking to King Arthur. Oh, dude, I just love how absolutely like nonchalant this dude is. He's just like, "Yo, you want to be part of my harem? Because there's room. You and that famous sword of your, what was it called again? Excalibur. Whatever. Don't worry about it. Just come here and hold my Aya, if you know what I mean." And yeah, that guy is absolutely fucking ridiculous and overpowered. But I mean, there's just something about his, especially his Japanese voice actor. He fucking nails it. I remember he did a live show and he called everybody like, "You filthy curs," and they all fucking screamed and like clapped at him and shit. I was like, dude, these anime fans are the best, but they're also fucking weird, dude.
Yeah.
I love it.
You filthy casual.
Oh
See
my
you.
god. Oh my god.
Speaking of powers that are OP, in this anime, this overly prideful character has the God tongue. And she, by far, along with, I'll include her cousin in this because I don't know if anybody's going to mention Alice on the side. Her and her cousin are like the most prideful characters in the entire anime. Maybe beyond like some of the ending villains who are just like, I can do no wrong. But I love that about Arena because that helps with her personality instead of being like, that's all she is. It's more like she's like a high class person who's always like, you peasants think you can do what I can do? Ridiculous. And that helps. Yeah, I'll put my tongue in your food and make it better.
Every episode, it is.
But I think overall, like, I love her as a character because with her pride comes that personality, and then with her personality becomes her like shitting all over Soma, which is like key to the show because it's so adorable. And she like, it also gives her the opposite personality where anytime she's like wowed by food, especially from Soma, she's like, I can't let it show. I've got to be the domineering bee like I am, but he's making me feel things. This is a problem. And overall, like, you see her pride kind of go hand in hand with her respecting everybody else around her eventually, and knowing that just like Naruto learned, its friends are that's what's important, not just your ability to cook by yourself.
Nice.
My next choice is actually not one person; it's more an institution. It is this school in armed girls Machiavellism. Uh, this place is insane, and it's run by these women who are ridiculous and crazy. And this school was once an all-girls school, but then at some point, I don't remember why, they decided to incorporate, guys in there too. So it was like, oh, cool, let's mix it. But that definitely did not go that way. And now they have forced all the men there to dress as women. They are basically women there. I don't know. Can you proverbial castration? I don't know. Is that too far? I don't. Maybe.
Good words, Johnny.
And so this place is horrible, and all these women are so prideful, of course, until the main character gets there and puts them in a different position than where they were. Less.
He put them
prideful.
In their place.
He just starts pushing them off their high horses. Just push. So, yeah, there you go.
That was
crazy.
That was a really unexpected. I don't think I've watched that for a while. That might be a good weekly review topic at some point. Because wow, that was a dude. I just remember the dude with the big head with the makeup, dude, just walking around with his big ass head and fucking makeup and shit and his deep. I mean, listen,
So we're going to talk about prison school now, and
I know, right? Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about that at some point. But why don't we do a lightning round? I feel like we have a pretty good list here.
Yeah. Go.
So let's see. I'm trying to think of. So the one obviously that I did not mention that we were all going to mention. We're all going to mention at some point is Escanor. Escanor, Lion, Son of Pride. Obviously, one of the best examples of pride, and probably like one of the most well deserved and. Probably one of the funnest examples of pride. He's just such a great example of that. But that show did him a great disservice, and that's all I'll say about that. Anyway, Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z, one of the most prideful characters. I am the Prince of all Saiyans. How many times have we fucking heard that, right?
Yeah.
He's just gonna keep saying it, even though Goku is obviously far superior and is,
and he's got no planet anymore.
Yeah. So I mean, you're the prince of nothing, bro. So anyway,
to your kids.
Yeah, it's not too bad. We have Sasuke. I just felt like he was just so prideful, but also I feel like that's a little bit of like emo-ness to him. Like he's really edgy, and I feel like that's just him just being edgy. So that's why I didn't completely put him on there. Takamura from Hajime no Ippo. He literally kills the bear with his bare hands and wears it as a skin. Wears it as like a coat thing when he walks to the ring. And yes, this is a boxing anime that we're talking about. Bakugo from My Hero Academia.
Easy.
I put Edward Elric in there, but more like young Edward Elric in the sense that he wanted to bring back his mom, and he was so prideful in the fact that he thought he could do it. Yeah, right.
I'm the first one who did it.
I got
just
this.
Throw a couple dollars in there. It's fine.
And then what was it? Aizen from Bleach. Also, like I specifically Aizen when he puts his hair back. By the way, I fucking love when I have wet hair and I fucking do that shit, and the one strand comes down. I'm like, ah.
I am
Aizen.
That's why I cut it all off.
You're being so prideful all the time. It's crazy.
Man. Esteth from Akame got killed. I almost said Kill la Kill because of you, Johnny. What the fuck? And last but not least, Tatsumaki from One Punch Man or Terrible Tornado, I think is their hero name. Yeah. Funny enough, it's not the most overpowered character in there, Saitama. He's not the most prideful character in that. That's funny.
I mean, also Speed of Sound Sonic is another one from
good one. Yeah.
Very prideful character. So we keep going with some more DBZ people. We got Frieza. Frieza is very egotistical, prideful, like every single negative attribute you could throw at somebody. And then even when Frieza comes back in the movie, I guess both movies, still super prideful, going like, I trained for a week and I'm stronger than you. Like, oh, interesting. Maybe you should have trained more. Like that could have helped you. 2 weeks. I put on there. Did we say Inosuke?
No, I don't think anybody did.
Now Inosuke is funny because Inosuke is prideful, but he never.
Slayer, right?
Yeah, from Demon Slayer, but he's never overly prideful. He's just more like, oh, I should be able to do what you can do every time, and it's only to Tanjiro because Tanjiro's like got a hard head, and he's like, oh, I should have a hard head like you, and he just tries to copy everything Tanjiro can do,
Yep.
and then when he can't do it, he just gets upset. Quickly gets over it though, not like prideful like Vegeta, who's like, I'm gonna go rage when I can't be as powerful as Goku. I also put on Asuka from Evangelion. That's the red one.
Mhm.
And she is incredibly prideful to the point where when she started not being as good as the other Ava pilots, she literally shut down and could not pilot anymore. She was like a mental wreck and suffered from like every single like issue out there because she couldn't handle the fact that she wasn't as good as she thought. And then had to climb back up on her mental wagon and be able to like control herself again and really dig herself out of the hole that she put herself in. Other than that, I'm gonna leave my list there because it was covered by you guys at some point. I wanted to say Pride from not Seven Deadly Sins. That's Escanor. Pride from Full Metal Alchemist, but meh. That character's like has like maybe 5 episodes or something that you really get to star on their personality, and then they're just like, well, I'm a little boy and I'm really cool and I can kill you, and then gets immediately bodied and wrecked.
True.
So since Michael didn't talk about it, right? No, actually, only one I had was Aizen, but then you took that just from the scene where he fuses with the Hokyoku and he's fighting Ichigo, and there's this whole like they have a clash, and then like a mountain blows up behind him, and he's like, "Wow, look at that! I must be so strong." It's like, no, that wasn't you, bro. You suck. Get out. And he did. He got wrecked. Ichigo was like, "No, I just gave up everything of me, and I'm gonna kill you now. Bye."
Mm-hmm.
Except not kill you because he can't die.
I mean, the other big character in Bleach is did we say the eye patch guy?
Kenpachi.
No, Kenpachi, no.
Kenpachi's pretty prideful for the most part, but he doesn't show it as like a lot of other characters. He's just like, I'm really strong and I have fun with it.
Yeah, I think
guess
that's the
more
thing.
sneaky because he's like,
Yeah.
I'm actually giving you a bunch of handicaps.
Yeah, and that's almost pride itself going, I'm so strong, I've got to lock my own power down.
Yeah,
That's why Ray didn't just go farther and just full on blind himself. I don't know.
And then like weights all over.
Or just a full like what do you call it? Like sensory deprivation moment
on his head.
See it. Like when he fought that guy, but all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true. He did do that shit. Oh, you know what? Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like we're just gonna shit on Bleach, but I feel like that's all of the captains, dude. All of the captains in Bleach are like, we let Soul Society handle Soul Society shit, and then they never handle their shit, and then they bring in a fucking substitute Shinigami to come fix other problems, and he does it, and then they create more problems, and it's like, hey, we can fix this ourselves, even though it's obvious that we need your help. Yeah, it's absolutely fucking ridiculous. But that's what this episode is all about: prideful characters. Guys, remember you can check out All Things Casual at the link tree in the info box down below. Also, if you'd like to email us, you can email us at animecasuals with an S, real REAL at gmail.com. But as always, guys, don't forget to keep
it
casual.